Hey everyone, new tool day today. This is sent to me by Kaiweets. This is a soldering station, the KOT936. My current soldering station is a 858D sort of knockoff that I've been using since the beginning of my YouTube channel, so years and years now. But this is a little bit of a different spin on the soldering station. So yeah, Kaiweets, you know, makers of one of my favorite pieces of test gear, the HT118A. So I expect this to have to be pretty good. Yeah, this is one of the parts that makes it so unique, is they have a base that you can sit your soldering station on, and it has the helping hands, and I think the top of the soldering station is protected as well. And you can separate the two, so you can have your soldering station over to the other side as well. So let's get all the pieces out, and we'll take a look at what we've got. This is the arms here, the helping hands. There we go. Oh, we get a couple. That's pretty nice. And rosin core. Oh, lead-free solder. Yeah, they did tell me they were sending solder with this, but I did tell them that I'm not a fan. This I am a fan of, though. I do not use sponges. I use this sort of brass shavings. A couple of extra tips. Looks like the tips I have are going to be compatible, which is nice. A little bit of hardware. And, oh yeah, here we go. So, got a little base. A little bit lightweight. I do prefer a little bit of weight on my base. Here is the iron itself. Very nice. And the actual station with, North American plug. Very nice. Let me get you all set up. Alright, I got all the parts apart, and I have to say, this is pretty nice. So first of all, the top of the base station here is plastic. I thought it was going to be like a silicone or something, because they do expect you to solder on top of that. But this base here, which is actually, fairly thick steel, it's not aluminum or anything. There's two little pips here on the base, and these 2 feet here, and they actually lock in quite tightly. And then there's going to be little feet here to spread out the height of this. And they also give you an arm. So they give you two arms with alligator clips. And the alligator clips are plastic dipped. So a lot of us in the electronics world, we put heat shrink over our alligator clips so they don't bite so hard. But these are pre-done, so that's pretty nice. And they're going to thread into the base. But also you get this magnifying glass here. So I think it's 2 magnifications. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. There and there. Maybe just 1 magnification. And it also has one of these adjustable standoffs. So that's pretty neat. Let me put this together. A little bit of hardware here. Looks fairly simple to put together, and bring you back. Well, that went together super easily. You just screw the rubber feet in from the bottom, and the arms from the bottom as well. And then you have all this flexibility. And what I like is that this whole station sits on these rubber feet, and the station is solid because of those little pips on the bottom and those feet. And they send you extra hardware, which is good for people like me that are butterfingers, and you lose something in the carpet and you'll never see it again. Now, this is not a digital station. It is very much analog, and you can calibrate it. I do not have a calibration thermometer yet, but yeah, we're going to give this a shot very shortly. But the first order of business is it ships with this pointy tip, and that is just not acceptable for me, but thankfully they give you the other ones as well. So we're going to take this off, take the pointy tip off, and I'm going to replace it with a chisel tip. The chisel tip is my personal favorite. Some of you like the sort of round flat one, so like this one here, which is also available. It's not the one I like, though. I like the chisel. In fact, if the chisel was a bit bigger, I would prefer that even more. But this is pretty standard for the tips, and it does seem compatible with my current tips on this one here, the Sigma 860D, which is an 858D clone, basically. So yeah, I'm going to put this on here. And then I have to kind of figure out how it fits in the hand and then angle the chisel in the direction that I want it. There we go. They say don't over tighten it. Try not to. And yeah, just need to line up that chisel though. Maybe more like this. Yeah, something like that. There we go. You got a little bit of a rubbery, silicone-y type feeling here at the grip. This is pretty cheap and plasticky, which is fine because you're not touching it. You're touching this, although it is a little loose on there. And yeah, the cable is a little bit stiffer than I'd like, but my current soldering station is just about the same suppleness, so can't really complain because I've been using that for a couple of years. So yeah, kind of really nice setup. I just wish they would have put a silicone mat on top here. That to me would make it ideal. Time for a very unscientific test of how quick this thing warms up. So I've got the Spartan power meter here, sent by subscriber RJM a long time ago. So you got the wattage there, and I have this set to 350 degrees Celsius. That's what I usually solder at, around 350, more or less. And basically I will take this and keep touching the solder to the tip, and we're going to call time as soon as the tip is warm enough to melt the solder. And we're also going to check how long it takes for the wattage to drop, meaning it's at its set temperature. So let's give this a shot. Hopefully I can edit in a timer in post because yeah, you know. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Here goes. Ooh, 100 and something watts. 102. Still not up to temp yet. 80. 76. Not yet. It's dropping down. 67, 66 watts. Still not melting my solder. I can smell it now. It's starting to get warm. 60 watts. Interesting. It's down to 6 watts, 30. So now it's already modulating its temperature, but we have not melted any solder yet. So the cartridge is warm. There we go. Time. The cartridge got warm, but the tip did not get warm. So that is, you know, par for the course for these soldering irons that have the cartridge and then the tip slots on top of it. The cartridge's temperature and the tip's temperature is not necessarily the same temperature. And that is interesting to say the least. But it takes about as much time as my current soldering iron does, so that's not too bad. I would say this is not something for, you know, built for high current or high heat load applications, but just everyday soldering, it should be just fine. I just have a couple of resistors into some proto board here, and we're going to test it out at its intended purpose. So I'm going to turn it on now, and I'm going to use both my favorite solder, which comes from a subscriber. This is a 6040 lead solder from MG Chemicals, and I'm also going to try the solder that Kaiweets provided, this stuff here, which is lead free, which is maybe not my favorite thing. I did tell them I would give it a shot, and I did also tell them that I'm probably not going to like it, and they said they want my actual opinion, and so that's what I'm going to give them. So here we go. So we're at 350C, and I'm going to give this a shot here. Now the lens here is set up for you guys, not for me. So if I look like I'm fumbling, it's because, yeah, I set the magnifying glass to be, you know, for you guys. So let's try. My regular solder is going really well here. The lead stuff is just so much easier to use. Well, I got a knot in my solder. That's weird. There we go. So I think I like these arms to be a little bit more stiff. I'm the kind to put a lot of pressure when I solder. You don't have to, but I like to, especially because I don't see very well. Mind you, if I used the lens here, that probably would help me, but you know, I'm not at the moment. Alright, let's give it a shot with their lead-free solder. No promises. I am not great at soldering with lead-free. And I may need to bump the temperature up a little bit. So there we go. Actually, it's working pretty well. Oof. It did not stay shiny though. Maybe the flux content is low, or I'm lingering too long. I'm going to bump the temperature up a little bit. 375, see if that helps. But yeah, you can definitely see that the solder joints for the lead-free solder are kind of hazy, and the lead ones are very shiny. So here we go. Some of that in there. Yeah, I think these arms are a little bit more springy than I would want, but that's totally fine. I have seen far worse methods of holding PCBs. But you know what I really do appreciate is that this isn't rocking anywhere, because the weight of the base station being on the base here means that the only thing that's moving is the actual helping hands and not the entire base it's mounted on. So there we go. There's the lead-free versus the lead. Not a fan of the lead-free, but I do like what it represents. It is more environmentally friendly. So, you know, it's probably just my own issue, not the lead-free solder. But, man, lead and we just get along very easily. Kind of the last thing I want to try here is to see the maximum power that this thing can output when you're trying to heat something rather large. And so I've got solid chunk of aluminum here. Well, not solid, but it's a big chunk of aluminum. And I'm just going to put the beans to it. I have it up to 400C, and you can see that it's maintaining that, you know, more or less constantly. And I'm going to use some of the lead-free solder here. And I'm going to tilt the wand at an angle just to get as much exposure as possible onto the chunk of aluminum. And we're going to see how much wattage we can suck back. So here it is. And so 64 seems to be the max, but still modulating. And this is ice cold now. So yeah, not a iron for high current, high heat situations, because yeah, the tip is not able to transfer enough, like the heater cartridge is not able to transfer enough into the tip for large workloads. So yeah, it is going up to, you know, 60 some watts, but it's just not enough. There's not enough transfer between the heater cartridge in here and the actual tip. So the tip is cooling more than the heater cartridge can transfer. So maybe like some thermal interface would help fix that between the tip and the cartridge, but not particularly. And if I check, yeah, this is still ice cold. So yeah, not great. Once you know, remove this, now it'll start heating up like crazy, and see, it can still melt solder. But yeah, once it touches the aluminum, it just sucks the heat right out, and this thing can't keep up, which makes sense. It's not designed for this. It's for electronics, not electrical soldering. And so there you have it, the Kaiweets KOT936 soldering station. I really appreciate the design of this thing, the fact that the base of the helping hands becomes weighted and strong because the soldering station sits on top of it. I like the addition of the helping hands and the magnifying glass, which is pretty cool for those of us who work on small stuff or are getting old, or both like me. Now, the only downsides I really see to this setup at the moment, this base could be a little bit heavier. I think personally I will get some wheel weights from work, some recycled wheel weights, and put them inside here, and then put the steel wool on top of it. And the other thing is that I really wish this thing had a silicone mat, but I think that's just something you could cut out from a dollar store silicone mat and install yourself. It would just been really nice to have the Kaiweets branding on there. Let me know what you think in the comments below.